5 different kinds of human once ruled this planet. Every single one of them vanished. Every one, except you. Right now, hidden inside your body, you are carrying pieces of a person who died 40,000 years ago. They were human, just not the same kind of human as you. Because for almost the entire story of humanity, you were never the only ones here. At least 5 or 6 different kinds of humans once shared this planet at the very same time. You were never alone. They lit fires, made tools, buried their dead, and looked up at the very same stars you see tonight. And then, one by one, every single one of them vanished. Every kind, except ours. So what really happened to the other humans? And why are we the last ones standing? To find out, we have to travel back about 300,000 years. Picture the Earth long before farms, cities, or a single written word. It is not an empty world quietly waiting for us to arrive. It is crowded with humans, and almost none of them are us. Far in the cold north of Europe live the Neanderthals. Short, wide, and unbelievably strong, built like tanks for the Ice Age. And here is something most people get wrong. Their brains were actually bigger than yours. They were not dumb brutes. They hunted mammoths up close, by hand, with spears. It was savage work, and their broken, healed bones prove it. Not the cavemen of the cartoons. They cared for their injured. They buried their dead. Some may have made art. They survived the brutal European ice ages for over 200,000 years. We have barely managed a fraction of that. Now travel east into Asia, and you meet the strangest of them all, the Denisovans. And for years, we knew them from almost nothing. A single finger bone, a couple of teeth, found in one cave in Siberia. From that tiny scrap of bone, scientists read an entire lost genome, a whole kind of human, almost erased. We now know they spread across Asia, and even high onto the Tibetan plateau. Then, on a remote island in Indonesia, something almost unbelievable turned up. A kind of human barely a meter tall. Scientists nicknamed them the Hobbits. Homo floresiensis hunted dwarf elephants and dodged giant lizards on the island of Flores. They survived there for tens of thousands of years, right up until around 50,000 years ago. And they were not the only island humans. On the Philippines lived another, Homo luzonensis. Back in Africa, deep inside a South African cave, lay yet another, Homo naledi. Small-brained, yet they may have carried their dead deep underground on purpose. And somewhere in Africa, a new kind was rising. Taller, thinner, restless. That was us, Homo sapiens. So here is the question that should stop you cold. If they were all so strong, so clever, so perfectly adapted, why are you the only kind of human left alive to even ask it? Why only us? For a long time, the answer felt obvious. We were smarter. We won. They lost. But the deeper scientists dug, the worse that simple story looked. Because the others were not failures, not even close. Around 50,000 years ago, our ancestors finally walked out of Africa in large numbers. And for the first time, the different kinds of humans came face to face. You probably imagine that meeting as a war. And sometimes, maybe, it was. But the truth turned out to be far stranger and far more intimate than a fight. Because when these humans met, they did not only fight. They talked, they traded, and often they fell in love and had children together. And those children are the reason you exist. This is the part that should give you chills. If your family comes from anywhere outside Africa, this is almost certainly true of you. Roughly 1% to 2% of your DNA is Neanderthal. And if your roots are in the Pacific, you can carry even more Denisovan DNA on top of that. Right now, inside you, are working pieces of species that vanished from the earth. How your body fights certain diseases, some of that is their gift. The Denisovans even left Tibetans a gene that lets them breathe high in the mountains. They never fully left. They went quiet inside us. So we are back to the real question. If we mixed with them, why did only we remain? And here the story gets uncomfortable. There was no single dramatic event that wiped them out. It was slow, quiet, almost gentle. Our ancestors had a handful of small advantages: better tools, traded across longer distances, finer needles, and warmer clothes. But the biggest advantage was not a tool at all. It was numbers and the way we connected to each other. Strength in numbers. Neanderthals lived in small, scattered, isolated bands. When a small band has one bad year, it can vanish forever. When a big, connected web struggles, others rush in to fill the gap. So over thousands of years, our numbers slowly grew, and theirs slowly shrank. Not in a battle, in a slow, quiet math problem. Every generation, a few more of us, a few less of them. And every time the two kinds had children, those children grew up among us. They were not wiped out. They were absorbed. Now picture the very last ones. A small band of Neanderthals clinging to the far edge of Europe. The world around them filling up with the new humans. Their own children drifting away to join the larger groups. And one ordinary day, somewhere, the very last one closes their eyes. No final battle, no last words, just a quiet that never ends. Around 40,000 years ago, we became the only ones. And maybe that is the part worth sitting with for a moment. For 300,000 years, being human meant variety, different shapes, different minds, different ways of being a person. Today, there is only one kind of human left on the entire planet. You. In every direction. Just you. It may be the loneliest fact about our species, and almost no one notices it. We are the only human left. We just forgot we ever had company. But remember where we began. They are not entirely gone. Nearly every person outside Africa carries a little of them in every cell. In 2022, a scientist named Svante Pääbo won a Nobel Prize for proving it. He pulled whole genomes out of bones tens of thousands of years old. The dead still had something to say. So the next time you feel completely, utterly alone in being human, remember that you are not one thing at all. You are a meeting place, a living museum of every human that ever was. They did not all simply die out. Some of them, quietly, became you. And maybe the hardest question is the one we still cannot answer. If 6 kinds of humans once shared this world, what does it truly mean to be the last one left? Thanks for watching all the way to the end. Everything here is based on real science. I have left the key books and papers down in the description if you want to go deeper. Before you go, I am curious. Do you think we are better off as the only humans left? Or did we lose something the day the others disappeared? Tell me your view in the comments. If this changed how you see yourself, give it a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.